Hey everybody, it's Miss Nichols. Welcome to art. I want to show y'all a little bit more about how to do a color gradation, which we know is a slow change between colors. There's no lines in between colors. There's just a very gradual fade. So basically, there are actually a lot of ways that you could accomplish that. One way is just by painting the same area, slowly blending the colors like I just did between green and yellow. Remember that the lighter colors, you need a little bit more of those because the darker colors tend to overpower the lighter colors and eat those up. So that's one way to do it. There's now a slow change between green and yellow. And honestly, I like those streaks in there. I think that looks really good, so I'm going to leave them alone. Another way to do a color gradation is by letting those two colors just touch each other. As long as they're wet, you shouldn't have any trouble blending. But if you just try to paint this whole entire paper and then let your paint dry and come back to it, you're not going to have much luck blending. So right now I have two colors touching. I have blue and yellow touching right here. It kind of turned green right there, which is kind of nice. Let's see what happens when I try to blend. So this next technique of color gradation, you have to clean your brush. Get a paper towel or wipe your brush on the newspaper, whatever you want to do. You don't have to rinse it out into the water cup because then you're just going to wind up with a bunch of water in your brush and you don't want your paint to get watery. So I clean my brush out. There's not hardly any paint in there. Then where the two colors are touching, I am painting in the opposite direction. I'm painting a diagonal stroke rather than this kind of stroke. Now I'm going to get that extra paint off of my brush. There's a little bit too much paint there. I'm going to do that one more time so you can kind of see that. Now it's not blended yet, but it's starting to be blended. Get the paint off. Then I'm going to go back and forth like I did up here. And now my paint is starting to dry and it doesn't have that same fluid motion, so I'm going to get a little bit more yellow. And you know what? My green is just taking over. The whole thing is turning green, which is okay. I have a really nice gradation from very bright emerald green to a lighter yellow green to a very, very yellow green, and then it's a darker kind of green where that blue was. And that's okay. Whenever you're painting, you have to go with the flow. If it doesn't turn out exactly the way that you wanted to, just figure out what you like about it and go with it. You don't have to start over every time you think that you might have made a mistake or messed up. Ooh, just picked up a little bit of white. Let's see what happens with the white. I'm going to do another gradation of the white into all those colors and see if I like that. I like that. We'll just leave that just like that. And I like how the white is really just tinting that blue-green or that turquoise. It's not really white, it's a tint of blue-green. Sometimes when I use this color scheme, the yellow and the blue and the green, it reminds me of the ocean. That's one of the reasons why I like this color scheme so much. If you're only using one color, like if you use blue and white and black, remember that's called monochromatic. If you're using three colors, like I'm doing right here that are next to each other on the color wheel, that's called analogous. And if you use opposite colors that are across from each other on the color wheel, that's called complementary. Let's just see what happens if I get a little bit of black in here, if I can shade that green. Remember, you don't want to use too much black because the black is a very, very strong color. It does tend to overpower the other colors. So I'm going to just wipe my brush clean again. Let's get a paper towel. Wipe it again. Now I have kind of a forest green that's fading into the black right here on the corner. If you can see that, it might have gone off the camera. I've got my black, forest green, and then lighter and lighter. So I have just streaks of this beautiful, gradually changing color all over my whole paper. And again, this color scheme is analogous. You guys have fun painting with color gradations today. You're making 3 mini paintings. One's monochromatic. You should have done that one yesterday. One is analogous. You're going to do that one today. And then one is going to be complementary. Have fun.